Okay, so today we have a 2008 Dodge Ram 3500 heavy duty 6.7 diesel, and it won't move. Gear shift indicator indicates reverse, neutral, drive, but it makes no attempt to do anything. You see the four-wheel drive indicator is indicating four-wheel lock. Let's see now. Two-wheel drive. No. Check engine light is on, but it makes no attempt to move. So we're going to check the tranny fluid. Okay, so I've checked the tranny fluid and it's full. So we're going to do a scan and see if there's any codes related to this problem. I certainly hope it's an electrical issue. Transmission control system MIL requested. Well, that's a generic code. Line pressure low, loss of hydraulic prime, low reverse pressure switch rationality, battery system voltage low. So it's like the front pump has failed. Fluid level seemed to be about the same level when I checked it idling versus checked it key on engine off or key off. Okay, let's have a look. So I've done a network code clear. Let's go into the transmission. Let's see if there's any active codes. No, well, it's not running, so there wouldn't be any active codes. Let's have a look at data and see if we can see line pressure. Trans temperature, voltage, calculated oil temperature, line pressure sensor voltage, line pressure. Well, let's see what happens when we start it up. Somehow I think there should be more than 30 psi line pressure, but it makes no attempt to move. Either forward or reverse. Let's have a look if any codes came back. Nothing yet. Well, I'll have a look at some information here. Well, according to this data, the desired line pressure is around 120 psi, and we got actual 30. So it's acting like the front pump has failed. I don't know if it's common for something to fail. They drove it, parked it, the next day they tried to move it, no gears. So the fault code P0944 suggests to do a shift lever position test, which I've done with the Veris, and it says it passes, no codes. Monitor line pressure. Does the actual line pressure match the desired? Absolutely not. Go to step 6. Check transmission oil filter. Oil pan per the service engine. Remove and inspect the primary oil filter. So if the oil filter fell off inside there or came apart, it could cause this. I would hope it's like that, but this transmission is not that old. I think it was a reman from the dealer back in June of last year. June of 19. I gotta check. Okay, well, I have to have a word with this customer. So the other code is a P0868, which is loss of line pressure as well, or transmission line pressure low. tips suggest to check the line pressure sensor. I crawled underneath the vehicle and looked at it, and it doesn't look like it's damaged. It's plugged in. The wiring looks okay. I wonder if we can do some tests on that line pressure sensor to qualify it before we pull the tranny pan. So key on engine off, I monitored the line pressure sensor voltage, and it was 0.5, which sounds reasonable at 0. Usually a low reading is low pressure, and I disconnected it and it jumped to 4.98. So the wiring to me appears good, but it doesn't mean the sensor could be malfunctioned. I wonder if I have one of those sensors. Seems to me I replaced one once before on something. Let's have a look. So one way to tell if this transmission pump is actually pumping is to check the fluid level with the engine not running. So it's been sitting all night. So I'm going to pull the transmission dipstick out and check to see exactly where the fluid level is on the dipstick. It's hard to see it here. Let's see, where is it? I'm going to have to wipe it off. So it's perfectly dry. Reinsert it. Pull it out again and have a look at the fluid level. Okay, it's right at the bend. It's right at the bend, right there. About a ½ an inch above the top dot. So we're gonna start it now and see if the fluid level drops. So the difference between the at-rest transmission fluid level and the running fluid level was exactly the same. There was no difference. It should have went down, I would expect, if the pump pumps fluid through the into the torque converter and various circuits as soon as it starts, especially after sitting all night. So something's caused the pump to fail, or there's a problem with the pickup. So we're going to put the truck on the hoist and pull the pan off and have a look inside. I'm draining the fluid out the back of the pan, and it looks kind of dark. On the dipstick it didn't look too bad, but here it looks pretty dark. Well, we'll see what it looks like when we get the pan off. So I got the pan off of it, and I wonder if anybody can see what's wrong with this picture. Have a look at the bottom of the pan. I did not take the oil filter, the internal oil filter, off. It was laying in the bottom of the pan. Isn't that special? Wow. That would definitely cause it to lose prime if it's trying to suck air through that oil filter. Well, let's put a filter and gasket set in it, and hopefully it fixes the problem. So this spin-on oil filter inside, can't tell what brand this is. It's obviously been replaced. This plastic fitting was still threaded into the valve body or the transmission case, and it had fallen off. So I've taken the plastic fitting out. I think it comes with the oil filter. I'm surprised that there's enough room for the bottom of this oil filter to come off, but mind you, there's only about 1/4 inch of threads there, as you can see. Anyways, we'll see what the new filter looks like when it comes, and make sure that's on snug, doesn't fall off again. So I was right, that filter does come with that plastic threaded adapter on there. So we're going to go ahead and put some tranny fluid on the gasket, put this together, and put the pan back on and fill it up and see how it works. Now you can see desired line pressure at 120 psi and actual line pressure 118 to 122. It looks erratic because this graph is auto-ranging, so it's going from 115 to 123. I still haven't run it through the gears yet, but I'm sure it's going to work. Well, just came back from a road test, and for some reason my scanner is not working here. My mouse, let's see if that makes a difference. Yes, that seems to make a difference. Anyways, come back from a road test. Transmission works fine. Desired and actual pressure work follow each other within 5 psi. Let's just scan it one more time in the transmission computer for codes. That's a good sign. So I'm going to tell this customer to go out and buy some lottery tickets because they dodged a big bullet this time. Thanks for watching.